Hello! Today we're going to be taking a look at the Topdon TC004 Mini. This is a thermal imaging camera. It's relatively inexpensive and there's a lot of cool features that we have with it, and it's just a lot of fun. So starting at the bottom, we have a tripod mounting point, so you can screw this into a tripod to make it easier to hold. We also have a lanyard hole that you can slide a wrist strap to or something like that. At the middle of the device, we have a button for a trigger to take images. The images aren't great, but it is a nice feature to have, especially if you're doing this for a project or something like that. The front of the device has the camera. It's kind of recessed in this little plastic thing, so you can't scratch it easily unless you really get something in there. It's probably like a quarter of an inch deep in there. The top of the camera has the charging port and the USB-C data transfer connector. There it is there. So you can charge the device. The battery lasts a long time. I've had this thing for a few months now and haven't actually had to charge it yet, but I use it really sporadically. I don't use it every day, if that makes sense. So it's like a 10 to 15 hour long battery life. So to turn the device on, there's a power button on the right. So you're going to press and hold that and then let go. And sometimes it's kind of finicky to turn off and on. I've noticed that, but right away it powers on. And let me just zoom in so you can kind of see it real quick. And look at that. All right, so now we're looking at the actual interface itself. If I hold my hand in front of it, you'll see that my hand is hot. There's a temperature reading here on the center that says it's like 87 degrees. So that'll be this point here in the middle. And then you have a temperature range here as well. So you see the hottest temperature is 92 degrees Fahrenheit, and the coldest one is like 68 degrees Fahrenheit. So that'll change depending on what's in the frame. If we press the down arrow, it will scroll through the different heat options. So in this case, it's like a red heat. If we go down one more, it's a red heat again. I guess the last one was more of like an orange, but basically you can kind of change how you can interpret the heat. So in this case, it's more of like a grayscale tone. The other one is switched, so it's like a black hot. The other one was a white hot. This one's kind of like the orange one, which I usually just leave it on that. So if we go into the menu proper, we get a few options here. An album mode, which has directories that we can take with pictures in them. And you can view, it looks like you can view images. So there I am. There's my cat again, and there's my cat again. So you can also export those images to using the USB-C cable at the top, but you can also view them real quick if you need to. And it looks like it saves them by month, if I were to guess. So you have 2024, 01, 02, and 06. Next is OSD, but it gives you options between the center spot. It looks like you can point out the maximum and minimum temperatures. You can put the time on there. Parameters in the temperature unit. The measurement parameters seems to be how the device takes temperature. So there's a few different configurations. I'm not an expert on thermal imaging technology. Next is the measurement mode. So there's two modes here. So this doesn't do like a full range of temperature. We have -4 degrees Fahrenheit to 302 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we have 202 degrees Fahrenheit to 842 degrees Fahrenheit. So kind of a wide swing there. I usually just leave it on this one, -4 to 302. But if you need to record hotter temperatures, you can do that as well. I'm sure their other models have more options. This one's pretty straightforward. TISR is on. What is that? Well, it's this right here. I'll explain that more later in post if I need to. The temperature alarm looks like it can beep if it's above a certain temperature. I don't think I need that enabled for me personally, but if you do, it's a nice feature to have. System settings is next. You have brightness, date and time, auto off, so it turns off by itself if you need it to after being idle for a while. You have format memory for the memory card built into it. You have a reset option. Device info, language. In the languages, we have a few. We have English, Japanese, maybe? I'm going to sound like an idiot, but Deutsch. Yeah, you have a bunch of different languages. You actually have a whole bunch. I wasn't expecting there to be that many, but yeah, so there you have it. Let's go look at some temperatures of stuff. Another thing worth mentioning is that this does not feel cheap. It's pretty, I mean, it is built out of plastic, but you know, it doesn't really bend or warp if you kind of put some pressure on it. So it feels pretty sturdy, so that's a good thing. So one use case for this would be checking your house for thermal energy transfers for insulation and things like that. So we have my blinds right here, so you can see that it's around 75 degrees, but if we hold it up a little bit more, you can see the edges of my room have some temperature in there. Now that could mean a few different things. It could be that there's no insulation at those specific parts. It could mean there's like a beehive in there. There's a lot of different things that it could mean. There's only one way to find out though, but now I know where to look if I want to using this camera. It kind of works the same for electronics. Like you see, I have my computer here and it's resting against this wall. If we look at the camera, we can see where all that heat is getting displaced into the wall from my computer fans. So you can see where the heat is coming from. So it's really cool. It's just really fun to show people this because, like, you know, you always understand heat as a concept, but this is a really great way to visualize it. The thermal imaging camera can also be used for troubleshooting electronics. In this case, I have a Raspberry Pi 02W and it's not working. It flashes, there's like an LED on here somewhere that flashes 4 times. Actually, I don't even know if it's doing that now. So one way you can kind of determine where to look next for electrical troubleshooting is you take your handy dandy thermal camera and you point it at the thing. So it looks like kind of on the top left, that little bit is a bit hotter. Yeah, it's just a good way to tell where a component could be bad. So like that one up there, it's like a little resistor. It's a lot hotter than the other bits, so maybe the issue lies in there. Obviously, you have to do a bit more troubleshooting after, but in this case, I'll just let it go for now. Here is another one of my Raspberry Pis that I have running a Flight Radar 24 node, and if we look at it under the thermal camera, you can see how the heat is dissipating onto the shelf that it is currently resting on. And it's a bit hotter, it's running at like 100 degrees Fahrenheit. The other one was like 90-ish, 80-ish. So here's my cat. Hello. If we look at the cat under the camera, we can see Norma in more detail. She has a cold little nose. Yeah, that's about it for the cat. What's that? What is that glowing vat container? Is it some kind of potion? No, it's just the coffee machine. Coffee looks really cool in this too. Let me pour myself a mug real quick. The burner's been off for a while, so I'm gonna microwave it too real quick just to make it a bit warmer so we can look at it under the cool thermal camera. Okay, right there you can see how hot this coffee is. It's around 132 degrees on that mug, it looks like. So let's pull it out carefully. Not burn myself. Ouch! So now we can look at the coffee with the thermal camera. It's around 153 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you look inside of it, you can see like a bunch of swirls where like the powder from the bean is. Looks like the sun. Now, as far as the accuracy of the camera goes, I'm not 100% sure how accurate it is. You could probably do some experimentation with ice and boiling water and stuff. But for me personally, it's not really about the accuracy. Here in my freezer, it looks like we have like around 15, 11 degrees, 12 degrees Fahrenheit. So this stuff up here looks hot with the color, but it's at only 42 degrees Fahrenheit. That's pretty warm for a freezer. I don't know. Another cool test is the oven test. So I'm going to briefly turn on this burner right here. So on, off. So only a few seconds. I can feel some heat. If I look at it under the camera, you can see a giant ring of all the heating elements. And that was only for a few seconds. You can already tell the difference. It still says like 92 degrees Fahrenheit, as opposed to the other ones where you can't tell where burners even are. But similar to my bedroom, this room in here, we have a bunch of spots where we could probably throw some more insulation. That's like kind of concerning. That's like really, what's going on with that? What is, that's, okay. I might actually have to like fix that because there's like giant chunks of just heat. And you can see where there's like the roof boards, whatever those are called. Does it go for my whole kitchen? Yeah, so that's fun. and good. Okay. So the other thing is that infrared light reflects off of glass still. And I'm trying to get this thing in focus. Hang on. So you can see me. Hello, here I am. And this is just looking at a picture of some glass. Or not a picture of glass, it's glass. But yeah, I just took a picture accidentally, so it's gonna be awesome. But yeah, it reflects off of just windows. So that's interesting. Let's look at my feet. So if I take a few steps really slowly, now if I look at it under the thermal camera, you can actually see where I have been walking. It's kind of gross actually, because you can kind of see like the toes and stuff. But yeah, you know, it's just really cool to actually see it in real time, where your feet were. Really, that about covers it. To turn it off, you just hit the button, and it'll go off like that. It's just really fun to point this around at stuff to try to figure out what stuff looks like under specific thermal temperatures. It's not that expensive, it's not cheap, and I haven't had any major issues with it yet. And it's been tons of fun to mess around with. So let me know if you liked the video, if this helped you at all. I'm gonna try to upload some more stuff to this channel, similar to this, kind of review, I guess, but I don't know. So go ahead and, if you want to subscribe, go ahead. If you don't want to, that's cool too. Okay, bye.